In this video, I'm going to bring you through exactly how we are structuring an 8-figure business. In this video, I'm going to pull down the curtains behind a 100K per day e-commerce marketing. In this video, I'm going to pull down the curtains and be transparent on a business that is currently generating $100,000 per month. Of course, an e-commerce business, right? And so why do I want to show you this video? I want to show you this video because I want to give you a good understanding of what this type of company is doing when it comes to coming up with creatives. What are they doing with their Klaviyo? What are they doing with their general framework of how they're growing the business? What channel distributions are they going after? How much is organic? How much is paid ads? All these things, I'm going to give you an indication of what they're doing so that you can kind of compare apples and see, okay, this 8-figure business is building their brand in this way, and you can kind of compare and take some nuggets here and there as I explain these frameworks. Now, hopefully you're going to stick until the end because I am going to go over some really important things. But with no further ado, let's get right into the video. Great, so as usual, let's go over some quick proof. This is just the business. This is what they did November 23rd. This is not even during Black Friday, so we're starting to get some traction. To be honest, this was a pretty good day. If we just look at other days, kind of the day after, let's just take a look what the sales were. I forgot, 94K the day after. I think it was around 100, basically almost 100K. Today I think we'll surpass it, hopefully, but we are getting into Black Friday on this Friday. So my prediction is that on Black Friday we're probably gonna hit $200,000-$300,000 in a single day in sales, just because we have a pretty big email list, retargeting strategies. We're doing a bunch on the back end. This is a pretty established brand. And speaking of 8-figure businesses, I'm going to show you this one because it's the one that I'm most excited about moving towards into the scaling phase. But I also do have other clients that are generating pretty big numbers, like $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 a day. I'm also going to do some case studies on those, so make sure to watch the next probably 3 to 4 to 5 videos on my YouTube channel. So with no further ado, I wanted to show you kind of the proof and what we're doing. This is a pretty cool client. I'm going to show you what they're doing. I have a bunch of tabs open, but let's just move over to the free form because I do have several things to discuss, as you can see. Why is this doing it like that? Let me just move over here. I have several things to discuss, but I do want to start over with the distribution of their channels so that you have an understanding of what they are doing. So what I want to do in this video, just to recap, is show you what they're doing and show you how they're structured. So I will also bring you through, of course, what are the things that we are implementing that is supporting the business to getting to these numbers. We are not the only reason why this business is generating $100,000 a month. I want to clarify a day. I'm used to saying, not really used to saying that, but typically it's $100,000 a month. But in this case, it's a day. So what I want to bring you through is also some of the strategies that we're implementing that is supporting the business, as I said. So first of all, I want to talk about distribution, so you have a pretty good understanding of how much revenue is coming from what sources. Okay, so first of all, we have kind of the Meta's engine. This is probably around here, there's a lot of organic traction that they're getting, which is really supporting the business on all other channels. Good organic will allow you to really start your marketing engine. So as soon as we hopped into Meta and we started optimizing their Meta account, it was quite easier to get that ROAS or get that return on ad spend that we were looking, just because the business already had some sort of pretty strong foundation, right? Even before we came into the business several months ago. So just to show you, we've also started Pinterest and TikTok, which are getting better and better. We launched them kind of recently, and so Meta is doing probably this amount. Just looking at percentages. I'm not sure exactly percentages. I don't have that, but you can pretty much you can create your own percentages based on what I'm showing you over here. It's pretty accurate in terms of how I leveled up the ad spends and the sales coming from each channel. So Meta is around here. Pinterest and TikTok, Pinterest is probably even more down over here. We literally started this one. It's not really doing that well yet. It is getting some return on ad spend, but TikTok is starting to get traction. And what I want to say over here is that part of these strategies over here for Pinterest and TikTok, since they're selling a premium product, TikTok wouldn't actually work in the first place. But what we're doing here is that we're capturing a bunch of demand and a bunch of retargeting, which is helping us get profitable. So we're not running like completely ice cold prospecting campaigns. On Pinterest and TikTok, we started with purely retargeting, which is retargeting people from Meta, from Google, from organic, from any other channel. Okay, so this is the distribution for social. Google is a bit higher than Meta. We are spending. We have increased really Meta, so quite significantly over the last 4 to 5 months. But Google is still kind of like on par. Sometimes it's here, sometimes it's over here. It really depends. But let's just say off season, Google is also kind of spending. As we got into the account, Google, I would say, is closer to like 50-50 with Meta. But we want to see this Meta side go over here, because what we want to do, and this is really going to help the business, is that once you increase your Meta, where it's like 60-70% of your spend is towards social platforms and maybe 30-35% is towards Google, it will allow scale to happen on a much better way, right? Because with Meta and social platforms, I say this many times, you're basically creating awareness out of nowhere, right? With Google, you rely on search terms, right? So if this keyword search term is 10,000 searches a month, that's what you're gonna get. You're not gonna get 11,000 or 15,000. So with social, it's interrupt-based marketing, so we're essentially creating that extra demand, which then we can retarget with Google. Google is a great platform for retargeting. Email is about 20%. Organic is also about like 20-30% of their sales, I would say, around there. So they have a pretty strong organic foundation. And then they also have an Amazon side. I'm not going to talk about Amazon, but they do pretty good numbers on Amazon as well. So also all of these things that we're talking about over here is also fueling their Amazon sales, especially social and Google, right? It's fueling the other side as well. Now, this is kind of the distribution, okay? So you understand what's going on and what level of ad spend is being attributed towards what platform and what each, I guess, this distribution channel is bringing in. I'm not sure why I'm lagging so much. So excuse my lagging here. I'm not sure why it's doing that. Now, the first thing that I want to bring you through over here, and this is not really about their structure and how they're structured, but it's something they really do and what we have really helped them with, which is customer mining. And customer mining is really important because it gives you so much transparency and ideas and innovative ideas that have never been probably tested. And it gives you also a very clear understanding of what your customers are saying with the product, within the reviews. What are their fears? How do they feel emotionally as they open the package, right? All these things we are in the comments, and the best thing that you can do in ecom and any brand or any business, honestly, is just look at your customers and try to understand exactly how they think, how they speak, what are their problems with the product, what are the benefits of the product, what do they enjoy speaking about as they are using the product, right, in the review. So study your reviews. One thing that I like to do over here is that I'm just going to show you one thing that is really helping us is basically you can use tools like an Amazon review scraper. So if you don't have your own reviews yet, you can basically go on Amazon, search the competitor, and use like Amazon scraping review tools. Like I think one is called, I have a video about it. I really forgot what it's called. Apology, but it's something Flex or something like that. Where it's basically you go on Amazon, you install the Chrome extension, it scrapes all the data, and then it basically creates some sort of report like this. There's many other tools. Honestly, if you cannot find the one that I mentioned in my video, you can probably find another one. It's plenty of these tools. So it gives you like a pretty good breakdown of what people are saying in the comments, and it also gives you a better analysis of how you can approach marketing for your company, for the brand. And so like use cases, when are they using the product, like children's bedtime, morning realization or relaxation, night events, stuff like that. And then it gives you some ad concepts, and then by topic, what's good, what needs to be improved, like short battery life in this product, 100% of the people say that it needs to be improved, right? So that's probably something that we we need to improve on the product as well. And also like you can take nuggets to basically answer objections within your ad copy, within your marketing messages, within your scripts that you send to the UGC creators if you're doing that. And then you have a who, when, where, and then a usage case when the use. You're basically breaking down your entire business and your avatar customers within one Google sheet, which is really, really important. Now, once we have this, we can basically understand exactly how we want to confront marketing. And so, this is really, really important thing. Let's talk about content production and how we actually manage and scale their social media platforms. So these are the major three things that we focus on: B-rolls, UGC videos, the traditional UGC videos, and then images. This is a product that works very, very well with image ads. And so I think around 40 to 50% of our ads are actually images, and they work very, very well. And what we're trying to do here, and I'm going to show you some examples of how we get these images, is that we're essentially copying already proven to work frameworks, and then we're innovating the design on it. And we're pretty much doing it with anything that we do in marketing, but specifically for images. I'm going to show you some examples. Okay, so first of all, let me bring you through the B-roll process. It's very simple. We partner with creators, and we have like a huge mega list of creators. Kind of just to show you, we have like what we call a UGC base. We have many people like in the US, UK, Ireland, Europe, Australia. We have pregnant kids. This is like one of our lists. So I mean, it's not our only one, but we had a client that was selling like kids. No, it was not selling kids. It was selling products for kids. My apology. YouTube, don't get me banned here. But essentially, we track everything by ethnicity, skin type, hair type, body type. What are they mostly doing? If they have pets, if they have kids, other things that they're doing with their content. So food, health, health, beauty, mom's life, stuff like that. And so what we are doing here is that we're collecting a lot of data. So if you cannot do this yourself, hire a VA that's maybe like $3 an hour or $4 or $5 an hour, and have her basically go on Twitter and like Threads, Facebook, Instagram, and just find these people. These people will honestly, if they're professionals and they do this for a living, which is the type of person that we want to work with, they typically have like their emails and all this information within their profile. So you can basically look at their email, where they're from, and then of course these things we go the extra mile, because we do work with a lot of types of businesses that need different criteria, like cats, pets, animals, right? And skin type, so black, Hispanic, German, right? Italian, like all of our clients have different criteria, so we basically collect a bunch. But you should have a criteria for your own business as well. And what ends up happening is that eventually, once you have like 2, 3, 4, 500 that you can kind of rely on, you can create filters based on who you want to work with, and it makes the process way, way easier. So this is a really, really valuable thing that we're using with our client. And we basically partner with the right people. We provide creators with B-rolls, examples of B-rolls. So what we're doing here is that we're giving them examples and saying, okay, this is how the framework of the B-roll needs to look like. And we've been using it for this client, this exact process, and it works really, really well. It allows us to get cheap creatives, it allows us to get really cheap creatives for the fraction of the price, and still get really, really high quality B-rolls that we can then put together. And what happens then is that we receive the final videos from the creators with different B-rolls. Typically, we ask for 10, 15, 20. I would say 15 to 20 B-rolls each. And it's like the same price, and I've spoken about this process many times. But what we do over here, and I think I spoke about it in my last video as well, is that we have like a sheet. Whoops, it's not this one. B-roll. It's basically, we have a sheet. It's a document that we create for every client when we onboard them. And it's like 20 to 30 pages long. It takes like a couple hours to build. But this is kind of like our entire framework of how we work with these content creators. So we give them examples and say, okay, B-roll 3, this is what you need to do. And this is like a screenshot of how they need to look. So kind of desperate or depressed and stuff like that. Then we have, when they're sleeping with whatever, this product, in this case, we're selling this product. And so we're essentially able to, feeling lonely or whatever that is. And so we're essentially able to give them frameworks and frames, footage that they can just repurpose and fully understand, because we're literally giving them real life examples of other companies or or maybe similar brands, whatever the case may be, of what we're looking for, and they can go in here and leverage. And what you can do is that you can send the same sheet to all people and then put references, maybe create like a tab, which we're probably in the process of doing, where people can just click the frames. But you can also say, okay, look at page 9, look at page 7, and look at page 2, and build those exact B-rolls. Okay, hopefully this makes sense, but it really does help when you're doing a lot of things. The one thing that we do when it comes to working with businesses is that if we have to do the research, we do the research for the next 3 to 6 months. So we do it, we spend like 5 days, all of my team does it, and we go all in on it so that we don't have to go back to it and say, okay, let's do the ads, then go back to the research. Let's do this other ad, go back to the research on the drawing board. We want to do everything up front so that, including things in documents like this, so that we don't never have to go back and recreate everything from scratch. Hopefully this makes sense. And as you are scaling to like 8 figures, 7 figures, whatever, things really add up. So you want to really prioritize and do it this way. Now, the UGC process is also quite simple. We onboard a creator, we do an in-depth training, including like documents like this, where we share. And it's when we're doing traditional UGC, and this is basically just a video where it's like a talking head, or just like you're literally paying the creator to do a video that is scripted. And of course, we have to send them the scripts that they need to follow. We never script them word by word. We give them like some sort of framework that they can follow so that they never it never feels scripted. And so this UGC process is very, very simple. Let me just show you how it works on our end, on our back end. For this client and for pretty much all clients, is that we have like sheets called UGC tracker. So we put all of the UGC people over here, and whether we want to work with them or not, their final work, etc. And then we have a sheet called storyboards, and this is where we basically build storylines and storyboards like these, where they can go in. We tell them, okay, go after and do storyboard number 2, which is product focused, right? Let us know if you have any questions. This is the framework, and we also send some details of the brand so that they know exactly what their product they're selling, and what are the specific features and benefits of the product. That's a given. I'm sure you will do that as well. But this is going to be the make it or break it thing, because, honestly, if I have to be honest with you, this framework we mostly use whenever we are 80 to 100% sure that the video and the script that we are requesting is going to work, because it gets expensive to pay $200, $300 for one video and like 2 or 3 hooks, which is typically what they provide. And so I only recommend doing this once you know for a fact, and this is what we're doing for this client, that framework, that video, this script has worked and has a proven track record of providing you or generating an ROI for the brand. This is when we would do it. But this is pretty much our UGC process, and it works quite well for really proven concepts. When we want to test and do other things, we mostly use the B-roll strategy and approach. Okay, let's talk about image processes. As I told you, our image ads are a pretty big component. 40 to 50% of the ads that we're launching for this client are images. And let me show you how we're doing it for this one. What we're doing is that we're going after tools like Creative OS, and I've shared this tool before. And Creative OS is basically a tool that allows you to copy and paste templates on Canva and on Figma. So you can click on Figma, and then as you see, successfully copied template. So you can go then on Figma and basically copy it and paste it. Or you can also create a template from Canva. So if you just click Canva, I'm not going to do it now for the sake of of time, but you can open Canva, and then a pop-up will open and say, okay, open it up on Canva. And what this will do is that it will basically create an example, the same exact creative, but like with placement, so that you can put your own words, you can put your own graphics, and it saves like 50% of time. So if it takes you 10 minutes to do a creative, it will take you 5 minutes to do a creative if you use Creative OS. I just, just to be transparent. And what I like about this is that you can do like you can filter by testimonial ads. There's many concepts that we take inspiration from. And a lot of these are also, this is the way that we do image ads. It's pretty simple. But we always leverage already proven to work concepts. We never try to reinvent the wheel. Okay, I wanted to make sure that is clear. The Klaviyo process. Let's move to Klaviyo process. So what we're doing for this client mainly, and what we're kind of focusing on, especially to get to add that extra 20 to 25%, I would say, of revenue in some cases is work on flows, campaigns, and SMS. This is the entire email marketing process. I do have another video where I go through like the exact flows. I think it's like 4, 5, 6, maybe 7 videos before this one. I talk about like a Klaviyo strategy on how we're structuring it. And I think it's also for this client, if I remember correctly. But I do go over that more in detail. It's basically this graph, just to refresh your mind. It's gonna look something like this. I'm not gonna go over this right now, but it's basically a process where I have pre-purchase flows, post-purchase flows, and there's the entire marketing funnel for the email marketing side of the business. Now, really important here is that this is basically the process, just so in case you want to create your own in-house team and kind of have a process for email marketing. Whatever we're doing, flows or campaigns, we have an email concept that we come up with. Then that needs to be approved by the client. Then we have an email copy. We always write copy before design, because if you do the design first and then the email copy changes, you're gonna have to like always fix. So we fix the design, because the design will be directly related to the copy. So the copy has more words, the design is also going to change, right? So the email copy, we're gonna do that. It's gonna be approved. Once it's approved, we move on towards Figma and we design it. This is just a snippet of like a part of an email Figma design that we did. We design things on Figma, so it's really easy to go in and kind of edit and leave comments. And then we move it over to Klaviyo. Very, very simple procedure. Now, one really, really important aspect that actually allows us to really do well for this client, and for this client, we're generating literally 6 figures a month on 6 figures a month on just Klaviyo. So, you know, it works. But split test. This is the lesson here. If you need to get a nugget here from Klaviyo, it's split testing, because I cannot stress this enough. Like, there's so many people that just don't split test. It's like they don't split test either flows or campaigns, and you should do both. Like, people think that you don't do the split testing with flows because it's kind of a set it and forget it thing, but you should always do it with the flows as well. Do an A/B test. And so just to give you an example here, like an abandoned cart email. An abandoned cart email is basically, you know, we're split testing the headlines or the offer. Same thing with checkout emails, different headlines, different offers, and always do like one test at a time, and one change at a time. Never do like multiple drastic changes, because then you don't know what the variables are. So do one significant change and split test it, and then keep the version that is doing the best, and then continue doing the split test. This is an example of a campaign that generated almost $15,000 in sales in just one single campaign. And this is how we structured the A/B test. We sent 50% over here, then 50% on version B. And as you can see, like the click-through rate went from 0.28% to 0.41%. That's not double, but it's like kind of almost is double, like 30-40% increase. And so what we told Klaviyo is that after 6 hours of split testing, we will allow Klaviyo to choose which one is the clear winner, because after 6 to probably 8 hours of doing the split test, we should be sending the emails only to the variation that is the winner. That is how we basically do it. And so the click rate lift went up by 50%, and the campaign ended up having a 58% open rate, and a 0.38% click through rate, which I think is a bit on the lower end. We typically have a higher one, but it's also based on industry. It's based on a bunch of different things. And then we had $15,000 in revenue generated just from this email. Okay, so do your split testing. It's really, really important. One other thing, just last thing before I end my rant here, is cleaning the list. We always clean lists. We literally always clean and segment the list, because if you don't segment your list and have buyers, people that never clicked, bots or spam to exclude, right? Do not send to, right? Do not send to. Engage but never purchase, all these things, they can really, really make your email deliverability, first of all, way, way higher, because you're only engaging with people that are actually interested. And if you do that, the sending providers like Google or Microsoft or whatever you're using will notice a pattern that people are opening up your email because they're relevant and they're clicking through. So this will help your email reputation and your deliverability by significantly. And the next thing is just cleaning the list We do this every quarter, every like 3 to 4 months. We go in tools where we just put all of our email list into the sending tool, and we just clean it. And typically 30 to 35% after like 4 months will eventually be like either bots or emails that don't exist anymore, emails that bounce, stuff like that. And so fake emails, right? So we want to filter everything so that we always have a super clean list within our Klaviyo account. Okay, this is pretty much. I could go on a bigger rant on and speak about other things as well, but this is pretty much the things that are really pushing the needle forward for this brand. If I have to be completely honest with you, Klaviyo have a very systematized process of A/B testing and doing very good campaigns that look very good. Honestly, great. Having a very clear process for image ads, and I told you where we get them from. And at that case, like once you have a process of where to find these concepts from, which we use Creative OS for, then it's just a matter of having like a designer like replicate it. So it's not really complicated. And then UGC process, these two are like super big aspects of what we do and what actually allows us to scale to that next level when it comes to paid advertising. And we repurpose all these videos. The beauty of having B-rolls is that you can repurpose all these videos based on the platform. So TikTok is maybe a bit of a different type of kind of like experience when it comes to creating and launching ads compared to Meta. Same thing with Pinterest, like completely different, right? And so this is really a pretty big foundation, content production. And so this is what we focus on. And then of course distribution. It was just to show you an example of how they are distributing their spend and how they're generating, $50,000, $100,000 a day in sales. And then the customer mining, guys, this is really important because it also helps us come up with marketing angles that have maybe never been tested before. And for those of you who are maybe new to the channel, I always say this: marketing angles can literally make or break a business. If you sell this product, you can sell this product in many different ways. First of all, because you see better, that's cool, that's the angle. But maybe an angle could be increases my authority because it's a high luxury brand, or they're small and they can fit in my pocket, right? All these things, they're light, right? Convenient, good for travels, right? All these things, all these angles can really add an extra layer of cash flow to your business. That's how I would put it. Okay, that's it for this video. Hopefully you got some value. Sorry if it lagged. I'm not sure why it's lagging today. It's weird, but hopefully you still got some value from it. Let me know if you have any questions, comments, whatever. Like, subscribe, ring the bell, and see you in the next video. Bye.